Hi everyone, this is 6 Storm Team meteorologist Ken Weathers with your forecast update here on this Sunday evening. Going to be a pretty dynamic storm system that'll be heading our way overnight tonight into tomorrow. I say that because we're going from temperatures in the mid to upper 60s here today on Sunday to tonight, seeing a chance of some wintry weather across the region. Pretty easy to pick out where the cold front is here as of just before 6 o'clock. There it is, 74 Huntsville, 36 Nashville, 56 Crossville. That is a strong temperature gradient, we call it, across that front. Now we are seeing some scattered rain showers, even some rumbles of thunder at this hour, especially along the Tennessee-Kentucky border. But as they get back into that colder air, that's where we're seeing the problems. The wintry mix there in the pink, freezing rain in that light blue, and the purple is snow. So when will this impact our area? Let's get to it on 6 timeline. 11 o'clock tonight, it's all rain. So if you do have travel plans to be out this evening, most areas are going to be just fine. Notice we're at 52 degrees here in Knoxville. Temperatures a little colder, though, back across the plateau, but still liquid at this point. Now, just beyond that, though, notice by 3 a.m., we're below freezing. Places like Cookeville, Jamestown, Oneida, that's going to be freezing rain across those areas, while it's mainly just rain, as we're still at 44 degrees here in Knoxville, 44 in Maryville. Our colder air comes in closer to sunup. Notice by 7 a.m. we're at 37 Knoxville, but Clinton, you're at 33. This is probably going to be a rain-sleet mix. Still some freezing rain, though, north from Crossville all the way up into Kentucky, and then you start to change over to some snow in that darker purple. As we get a little later in the morning, our temperatures continue to drop here in the Knoxville area as well. We'll be right around 35 degrees. Look at the teens and 20s, though, across the plateau. And again, that pink at this point is probably a freezing rain and sleet mix across much of the Central Valley, including here in Knoxville. And by noon, we're at 30 degrees, so that's probably changing over to some snow there. The good news is, shortly after lunchtime, that moisture's moving out. Temperatures continue to drop, but we start to see some quieter weather across the area. This is probably my biggest concern. This is the icing potential across the region. Notice this is more than 1/3 of an inch of ice being estimated for places across Cumberland and Fentress County, all the way up into Scott, Claiborne, Campbell County as well, and up into southeast Kentucky. This could cause some power outages, some tree and limbs to come down, and it will definitely cause some travel concerns. Notice the amounts aren't quite as high down through much of the central southern valley. That's basically because it's going to take the colder air longer to get in here, and plus we were in the mid to upper 60s for highs here on Sunday. On top of that, we could see some snow as well. Again, trace to half-inch amounts of that across much of the central and southern valley, and that's mainly going to be on some grassy surfaces, but still some elevated roads or secondary roads could get coated closer to that lunchtime time frame. Higher snow totals as you go north, especially up into Kentucky. Look at that, a 3 to 6 inch swath from Bowling Green, probably up through about Jackson, Kentucky. So here's kind of what I envision with this. Winter weather advisories across the area. That's what that purple color is. Winter storm warnings, which are a more serious advisory across much of the southeast Kentucky area and northern county areas. I think that they should have this included, Fentress and Cumberland County, because as I mentioned, that freezing rain is going to be a big concern and could cause travel problems. So I would like to see those areas shaded in white as well. A little more serious, that winter storm warning advisory, which is in place there. Breaking it down for here, impact-wise, this is what I do see with this. Ice and snow are going to be a moderate impact. Travel moderate to high, simply because the freezing rain first and snow in the areas across the plateau, southeast Kentucky, northern valley could cause some serious concerns. But what's interesting is flooding could also be a concern. I say that because before all this transition happens, we could see some moderate to heavy rainfall across the area, so watch for that. Now again, temperatures fall through the 30s as we go through the day. Monday, as I showed you, and by Tuesday morning, we're down in the low 20s. Thankfully, we catch our breath. Later in the week, we're warming back up into the mid to upper 50s as we head late week. Now, I'll have all the forecast details for you coming up tonight at 11 on WATE-6 News. Actually, about 11:30. It'll be after the Oscars for tonight. But I'll have continuous updates on Facebook. You can find me there at WATE Ken Weathers. On Twitter, at Lucky13Weatherman. And on Google+, just search Ken Weathers. Have a great night, and we'll see you back here after the Oscars.